Okay. Any question or suggestion for discussion? So, while you're thinking, I would like to share few thoughts about the question. Meditation practice. It's about self-development and self-cultivation, developing self-awareness. Those are the skills, those are the way we are going to use meditation to cultivate ourselves or bring peace. At the first part of the class, we are trying to help ourselves to settle or calm. As an example, think about if you happen to go to see a lake or water pond, you can see the depth, or you can clearly see all the fish and the plants if pond is calm. If it is not calm, you will not be able to see. Once when you are able to see, then you know how you can help or how you can use this pond. So discussion time. The discussion time, the time we are using that opportunity to develop our insight. Now this is about self-investigation and self-development. So when you bring a question, bring the question that you need in your heart, that what you need to hear. Bring the question that you need to open yourself. That bring the question which help you to develop and cultivate yourself. So in another way, I would say, we are asking the question mindfully. And what is happening? As a community, we are practicing meditation. Then when you bring that kind of authentic question, that question going to be the question for everybody. Because think we all are swimming in the same swimming pool. If anybody have any question, then that question going to common for everybody who's swimming in the same pool. We all are swimming in the same pool we call life. Same challenges. We all are facing the same emotions. We are looking happiness in very same way. We have very similar structure in our life. Very similar structure. You go to school at a certain age, finishing school at a certain age, finding job in a very similar age. Then again, whatever the challenge you are going through at the work, that would be the common with other people. We are swimming in the same pool, same life pool. So therefore, that once when you bring the mindful question, we can investigate that question. It will help us to uplift ourselves with our wisdom, and also it will help other people to develop their wisdom. Okay, I think enough explanation about the question, the way how we are placing the question and suggestion. Yes?
It's very difficult to stay mindful in a really stressful moment, like when you become angry or whatever, or sad. Is there a strategy or a suggestion that you have for those really difficult, stressful moments to pull yourself out of that and remain mindful? A strategy, suggestion.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that question. I think your question is about it is very difficult to stay focused and mindful when we are going through some pain or challenge, right? Think when everything going smooth in our life, your family is happy and your life is happy, your work is going well, or your other activities are going well. When everything going well in our life, we think, oh, we are fine, I don't need anything. Then what happened? Most people, when everything going well, then they are looking for some trouble. They bring troubles into their life because nothing to complain in the life. Not because of that, but our nature is we feel this is not enough. This is not enough. Then we are looking something else. So when we search something else, probably we are finding something or things to bring us stress. That is one thing. Number two, as a human being, we are living with other people. We are living with our family. Then we have to have a relationship with our co-workers, other friends, then outside people. When we are working with other people, then other people go through some challenges. If you look at 10 people, 10 different people will respond to same thing in 10 different ways. If you start to have a conversation about certain thing or certain issue, the 10 people will have 10 different ideas. That's the nature of the world. But when a family member goes through certain challenge, you cannot remove yourself totally, because you will become part of that. Think about if your spouse or if your kid or When your immediate family goes through certain thing or certain issue, you're going to be part of that. So you don't have a personally, you don't have something going on with you, but other people bring some challenges or trouble into your life. That will become yours. That is number 2. So number 1, you will have challenge from outside from your activities. Number 2, you will have some challenge or trouble from other people. Number 3, we cannot avoid our health issues. Health, aging, whatever related to aging and health, we cannot avoid those. Those also will bring some pain, anxiety, and extra thinking. It will disturb into a peaceful mind. You will lose your peaceful mind because of those issues. So those are the 3 ways most of us will face into challenge or pain. Now your question is, when those challenges are there, how can you establish this peaceful mind, or how can you practice meditation, or how can you bring peace into yourself? This is what most of us want to do. But that is impossible if you don't have a training or practice. Let me bring an example. Think you are having some accounting issues. Or if you are not an accountant, what would you do? You would go to an expert. You would go to an expert as a stressful person. You would say you don't know what to do and you will have all this trouble. But when you go to an accountant will listen to this, will come up with the answer. Accountant is expert in that field. Since that person is expert, that person has prior training to answer this kind of thing or work with this kind of matters, and this is not the first trouble. So therefore an accountant will not stress out with that question or with that challenge. That will not be the challenge for the accountant. Why? Because accountant has been the expert in that field. The same way, when we are having a peaceful and happy life, that is the best time to introduce mindfulness and meditation. Most of the time, people will come to meditation when they are going through some kind of trouble or some kind of challenge or with some kind of loss. Then they are opening themselves up. Even the Buddha's time, even in the history, if you really look at that, people will look the practice or Dharma or meditation with some kind of challenge and trouble in the life. Not everybody, most of them, majority. That would be the door. But that is the ordinary way. But even though we start this practice in the ordinary way, we need to maintain this. Not to just avoid or overcome the challenges and troubles we have now. We need to establish this practice to make ourselves stronger. In that accountant field, accountant becoming an expert, then that person can answer all the questions regarding accounting. The same way, we have to be an expert with our own self, especially with our own mind. When you become an expert for our own mind, then you will be able to handle ourselves. Even though when sadness is there, we can overcome sadness, then we can let go the sadness. Just think about really what is happening to us. Your mind is very powerful. When you have a thought, recently one of our friend told me, who's going through diabetes, but this friend told me, Bante, when I have a thought about ice cream in the refrigerator even at midnight, I cannot sleep. I am finding way to go or bring myself to fridge and open the fridge, then at least eat little bit of ice cream. Otherwise I cannot sleep. Think about what ice cream can do. Even it can stop your sleeping. What about other things? When you have something going on, when you have something in the future, or especially tomorrow, or if you are going a field trip tomorrow, or if you are going somewhere tomorrow, maybe that night you are having hard time to sleep. You might wake up few times at night because your mind is excited. Your mind does not want to sleep. This is happening since we don't have proper training. Proper training to handle our thinking, or proper training to handle our emotion. What is the best time to have this training? The best time to have this training is when you are calm. Because when you are not calm, it is very difficult to introduce such a training. Let me share a very interesting observation. A few months ago, one of long time friend I happened to see at the meditation class. When this person come to meditation class, I asked him, did you lose your job? He was shocked. Then he said, Bante, only my wife know about this. How do you know? So I did not answer there because there were some other people. Then again, after the meditation class, when I'm walking to my car, and he just followed me and he asked me, Bante, again, how do you know about my job, the losing job? I said, nobody tell me, but I know every time you come to meditation when you lose a job. and 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 also I know you stop coming to meditation when you find a job. So then I just used that time to explain to him, I'm glad you came to meditation class because I know now you need to establish some peace. But once you have peace, it is very important to establish it and maintain it. That's the way how you can use this peacefulness to establish the peace permanently. So I think that can be a very good example for many of us. Um, Again, answering your question, yes, I agree, and it is very difficult. That that is happening because we do not have enough training. But if you have very good training, when something happened, you can separate those things. You can really save and protect yourself. If you have enough mindfulness, you can really protect yourself. Especially by knowing the past as a past. Think whatever has happened in the past, it is on the past. It doesn't matter how much you think, it doesn't matter how much you want to edit and change. Past is past, just like last breath. You cannot inhale that back. If you know that clearly, nobody will suffer or have any pain due to past events. If you know clearly as your present is not the future, you will not burn now because of tomorrow or because of tomorrow event. When tomorrow comes, you will face to that mindfully and with full strength. But only now you would say, how can I prepare now? Instead worrying about tomorrow. If you have to prepare it for tomorrow, just prepare it today. Use this time wisely. That is how you are building confidence. Mindfulness helps you to build confidence. Buddha said, confidence is the most wealth. Confidence is the most biggest wealth for anyone. If you have confidence, you cannot compare that wealth with anything else. So you will gain the confidence through mindfulness. Hope I answered your question. Any other question? Yes?
So if we're all
Yeah.
if we're all in the pool of life together,
Mm-hmm.
and if I'm having turmoil and anger and she's having anger, we can't feel her sadness if we have our own problems. So the mindful person that has, like say yourself, should you then be able to feel all of our feel or see or
Emotions. Well, now let me answer that question in this way. Think about either as a mother or father, or even a son or as a daughter. When you're at home, one of your family member come into house after work or after school or after whatever the outside thing. When they come into house, just by seeing how their face looks like, even just by hearing the way how they behave, even though before you see them, you can you can come to, you may guess, oh, something wrong with them today. Then you may ask right away, are you okay? Because you know when they are happy, also you know when they are not happy. You know when they are troubling. But maybe you cannot do this, you cannot do the same thing with outside people. Outside people, maybe you need to hear a little bit more. But with your family members, even though they say, no, I am fine, still no, they are not fine. They are just, not telling me something. Because they cannot hide from you since you know them. What is happening there? You have a connection and you know all the behaviors, and that because of that connection you feel them. You don't have to hear from them, you just feel them. Now let's bring the same example into the spiritual community or into the meditation class. In the family, you have opened yourself. By opening yourself, you have opened the skill to receive their senses, their feelings. It is not because of them, it's because of you, because you are the one who has opened yourself for them. In the family, you have done that since you don't have any fear. You don't have fear in the family. That's why we fight with people who we love. We don't fight with people who we don't love. Usually you smile to strangers, but with your spouse you fight for the same situation. You would say to stranger, oh, that's fine. But if that done by your spouse, you will fight. What is behind it? You do not have fear with your loved ones. With no fear, you have opened yourself. In the meditation class, you are learning to open yourself to outside. What that means? You are releasing fear. You don't have fear. You are trusting people who's in there. So once when you are able to lose fear and open yourself, then you feel each other. You can feel other people. But at the same time, we should not misunderstand this. We think, oh, if I am sad, I should not go to meditation because others will be sad too. No, that is wrong. Mindfulness is there because since mindfulness is there, you can see other people's feeling and other people's emotions, but you will not become that. That is the beauty of mindfulness. You can use the same mindfulness even at home. Most of the time, parents, grandparents, with their life experiences, they are doing that. How do they do? When kids or when other people come to house with all the, most of the time actually even more than parents, grandparents doing this with grandkids. What do? Grandparents will listen to grandkids with no attachment, just with open heart. Boundless compassion, boundless love. No matter what they do, they can freely share with grandparents. Because of that skill, grandparents can emotionally help them. Then grandparents become favorite from grandkids most of the time because of that skill. Because boundless compassion is there. Maybe the same grandparents cannot be the same person for own kid, because you have a lot of demanding from your kid. But grandparents, they don't have any demanding from grand kids. That give them a lot of freedom to expand themselves into that boundless compassion or boundless love. In the meditation class, in the spiritual community, we are cultivating that unconditional love or boundless love. We are establishing the skill to help other people to without becoming them. Then you will not become angry while you are helping to spiritual friend who's angry. You will not become anxious while you are helping to your spiritual friend who's anxious, who has anxiety. You will not become that. That is the skill of mindfulness. And eventually you can help yourself in the same way by using the same mindfulness. When something happened to your life, when something happened at work, still you can be the same mindful person and look at the situation and face into that without placing you in that anger place or anxious place. So that's what happened. So it is almost 10 o'clock and just a little past 10. We can stop here for today. And thank you very much being here, and also I'd like to thank all the people who's joining from long distance. So I have few announcements. The next weekend we are having a visiting teacher who's traveling from Texas, and he's giving a Dharma talk in English next Saturday at 7 o'clock. He's a very good teacher we know from a very long time.